Hey YouTube, this video is for the MOOKER forum topic of my Figuera topic. Okay, I want to show something. This might not make sense to new viewers. If you want to catch up, look at a couple of my past videos and go to the MOOKER forum, which is linked below in the Figuera setup. Now, I did hook up my 10 transformers on the output, and it was doing kind of what I expected, but kind of not. I was missing something. So after a little different configurations and figuring out what needs to be done, here is my next epiphany I'm having. Okay, so I have the power supply locked at 6 volts. Okay, that won't change. That's always going to put out 6. Now I'm measuring the voltage coming out of the supply off my multimeter. Let me get a better connection on that because that's a little crappy. Okay, I'm measuring the direct current voltage, and as you see, it's 5.98 volts. I'm not putting in more, but the system is going to put more into there, and we could watch it. Okay, so here's my two output leads, this yellow and this green, coming from my secondaries. I'm just going to short the outputs. Now look at the input voltage, 6.34. The input voltage raised because shorting the output creates back EMF, which feeds back to the positive, and it raises the potential on the positive side to 634. So that's good. Now 8 ohm resistor. Okay, so I'm taking a load on an 8 ohm resistor, 598, and I'm taking a load 632. 8 ohm is good. 8 ohm is fine. It still raises the input. It's still creating back EMF. Next, I'm going to go to 16 ohms if I could stretch it. 16 ohms, 2 8 ohm resistors. Oh, I just lost connection. And I say those augmented reality glasses, I really want a pair. So I get 2 hands, but they're expensive. Okay, 16 ohms. The input went up to 629 from 598 open. And 16 ohms, 629. 16 ohms is good. Now this is fully 24 ohms. 3 8 ohm resistors. 598. Take it. 594. Now what happened? Input went down. The effect is gone at 24 ohms. But at 16 ohms, the effect is there. 24 ohms, it's gone. So I put a whole bunch of 1 ohm resistors in between to figure out somewhere between 19 to 21 ohms, the effect goes away. Okay, but I need to keep that effect while I'm taking load. So that means I have to use transformers on the thick sides and hook them up in a manner which the resistance stays under 19 ohms. And I could collect that output and I hope put it back into the system and create the back EMF that we're looking for. So there's no textbook stuff on what I'm doing here, because we're creating polyphase, merging it into one, creating virtual rotation inside 2 transformers, taking the output, series them to create one wave that's virtually rotating at the source, and then we're trying to power loads and see how many times we could take it without raising the input. And actually it causes the input to go down. As you see, it's sending voltage back to the source and amperage back to the source. When we take amperage, we're taking amperage out of the system and creating heat. At that time it sends voltage to the positive, and the input actually will go down because some of that voltage that we're taking is being fed into the other side that's growing and shrinking, and it's pushing and pulling, and it's sending it back to the positive. But there's no equations and no easy way to figure this out, because this is uncharted territory as far as conventional understandings go. But that's what I'm looking for, to pull 16 ohms, pull a load in 16 ohms. Well, I got shocked. And the input voltage goes up, even though it's not coming from the supply. because taking power creates back EMF that sends power back to the source. So that's what we're trying to capitalize on. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, which most people aren't going to, you visit the MOOKER forum and join me, and I'd be happy to explain a little bit here and there about what I'm doing here. So let's see how far we can take this.